Hello friends, my name is Shilpa Kakkar. I am from M.B.Patel English Medium Secondary and Higher Secondary School. Today, I have come with Hornbill, English book of Standard 11th. The name of the first lesson is The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. Let us see how Khushwant Singh has portrayed this lady. Khushwant Singh, a very prominent writer who was born on 2nd February 1950 and passed away on 20th March 2014. He was an Indian author, lawyer, diplomat, journalist, and a politician. His experience in the 1947 partition of India inspired him to write Train to Pakistan in 1956, which was later made into a film in 1998, which became his most well-known novel. This chapter, The Portrait of a Lady, is the story of the author and his grandmother. Students, we Indians have a special bondage with our grandparents. So did Khushwant Singh. He had a very good bondage with his grandmother. The way he has described in the story about his grandmother is superb. He liked her ways and he was so influenced with her that he could not express himself. The way he used to stay with her is a very general common thing which when we'll read we'll think that it's just we only who are on that side of the, the story. The grandmother was an old woman with a wrinkled face. The author had always seen her like this for the past 20 years. She appeared to be so old that he could not imagine her being young and pretty. Such a beautiful expression of feelings. He said that he cannot imagine her, that she was ever a young girl. And not only that, he cannot even imagine that she had a husband. Such a beautiful expression. And he talked about that lady as she was fat, short, and slightly bent. The author had seen his grandfather's portrait, an old man with a turban and a long white beard covering his chest. To the author, his grandfather didn't seem like a man who could have a wife and children, but someone who could have lots of grandchildren. See the expression. Because he was a very stout, very strong, big man with a big beard, long beard, and it was covering his chest. So that man, he described in his own words that he looked very old. His grandmother used to move around the house in spotless white. Here, spotless white means the dress which she was wearing. That is, she wore white sari all the time. She was same all the time. He had never seen any changes in her. With her one hand resting on her waist and the other counting the beads of rosary. The author talks about the different phases of the life. He talks about his bondage with the grandmother. He talks about the time he spent with the grandmother. In the initial days, the author and his grandmother had a good relationship. She used to wake him up and get him ready for school. She used to pack the things required by him for the day, that is, for his school, because both of them were living in a village. So she used to wake him up, bathe him, ready him for the day, and after having breakfast, both of them used to go to the school every day. So both of them walked to the school every day. His school was attached to the temple. So she used to visit the temple that was attached to the school. And that was her routine. As much time the author used to spend in school, she used to stay back in the temple, and her routine was reading the scriptures. Both of them used to stay there till the time gets over of school. The author, along with other children, sat on the veranda singing alphabets and morning prayers. They both used to come back together with stray dogs. Stray dogs means the street dogs roaming around them, as his grandmother would carry the stale chapatis to feed them. So this was her routine, to feed the stray dogs, and those dogs were always following them till the house. So it was her routine to feed the chapatis to stray dogs. Then comes the second phase of the story, when the parents of the author, who went to the city to settle, after settling down, they called them to the city. So both grandmother and the grandchild, both of them moved to the city. As they reached the city, his relationship with his grandmother took a turn. Previously, she used to wake him up, ready him for the school, packed up his bag, slate, and everything which he required for the school, and used to go every day with him to the school. But now, though they shared the room, their bond grew apart. As he started going to an English medium school, she no longer accompanied him to the school. And there were no longer stray dogs who roam around them while walking back home. He started going to English medium school. But another thing was that he used to go to school by bus. And she stayed back home. However, she used to ask him about his day and what he had learned at the city school. She did not understand anything, as everything was in another language which she could not understand. She did not approve of the new syllabus that he was studying because she thought that they did not teach him about God and the scriptures. She even did not understand the subjects. Moreover, she did not like when once he told that they were given the lessons in music. She was very upset with that. She felt that music is not for the students, the children of reputed family. It is for the harlots. So she did not feel good, and they saw less of each other. As the days passed, he grew older and soon went to the university. He had his own room, and this made their relationship, we cannot say as sour, but there was a distance between them. The common thing which they were sharing till now was their room. But now he was given a separate room. And that prayers and moving beads of rosary with one hand. However, she loved feeding sparrows in the veranda at dawn. Those dogs were replaced by sparrows in the city. She did not stop feeding the animals and the birds. As there were no dogs, she had started feeding the sparrows. She used to break the bread into small pieces and feed the birds daily. The birds would sit on her legs, her head, and someone even on her shoulders. She used to shoo the birds, but those birds never shooed by her. It was her love, which birds knew that she was not sending them away as she was feeding them. Soon, the author decided to go abroad for further studies. As you all know, grandparents do not like to send their children away. But she was different from all. She never minded the change. In fact, she accepted the change. She even accepted the change of the syllabus in the schools at city. She even accepted the change of the room of her grandson. This time also, they thought that she would be an obstacle. She might not let him go. But it was different. As the author decided to go to abroad for further studies, she came to the railway station to leave him off. She was such an understanding lady. She knew that she had to change with the time. She was not sentimental. She was the same. Continuously recited her prayers. Her mind lost in the prayers. This is what he has seen since his childhood. While she was getting him ready for the school at the village, she used to recite something. He always said that I have never learned the prayers, the words she was speaking, singing. but he used to listen to her because he loved her voice. Today, even when she came to drop him, to leave him off, to send him off to the railway station, she was reciting prayer and she kissed him on the forehead. Othel was supposed to go for 5 years. He became very sentimental, emotional, and at the back of his mind, he thought that he won't be able to see her again after 5 years because of her age. But after 5 years, as he returned home, she was there. She even came to pick him at this railway station and was still the same as she had been 5 years ago. She clasped him within her hands and did not say a word. She still used to feed her sparrows. One day, she did not recite her prayers, but instead, collecting the women of the neighborhood, got a drum and started singing. As she was very happy, from her gestures, he could come to know that when he returned home, the way she expressed her happiness by collecting the women of neighborhood, everybody understood that she was very happy. She sang so many songs. Warrior coming back, the winners, those who come back at that time, the songs which they sing. She sung so many songs that on that day they came to know, the writer came to know that she used to whisper all those songs which he thought that she was singing prayer. The next morning, she was ill with mild fever. The doctor said that there was nothing to worry, but she was sure that her end was near. She did not say anything. She did not want to waste her time talking to anyone in the family anymore, but she wanted to spend her last hours in reciting her prayers lying on the bed. She died, and so her body lay on the bed lifeless. These people mourned for few minutes and they left the house, sorry, they left her in the room on the floor and started preparing for her funeral. She was covered in a red shroud. Her face was so calm, so peaceful. It seemed that she was on eternal journey. When her dead body was carried out for cremation, they saw all the sparrows sitting in the veranda around her mourning her death. Writer's mother did the pieces of the breadcrumbs and spread on the veranda. But those birds, they did not have anything and flew away. This is the story of the portrait of a lady. by Khushwant Singh. Students, when you will understand in a better way. I have given the meanings of the words which are new words for the better understanding of the story. When you will read the story, you will understand very much. For you to prepare. So prepare well, read the text and enjoy the story. Hope the story is clear to you. Thank you.